So today I want to talk about Tulsi Gabbard. She's just been taken over the CIA, the position of overseeing the national security state. I think that's fairly amazing. Although I'm real skeptical of Trump. He's clearly self-serving. But again, like Jimmy Dore says, I'll get together with anyone that wants to do the right thing. And the right thing is peace. And Trump is the only person talking about peace. Like, this is where I don't recognize my country anymore, of Canada. We used to be on the forefront of peacekeeping. And now we simply, we made armored vehicles to kill Yemeni women and children and sold them to Saudi Arabia so they could commit a genocide. We need our own investigations into our government and government spending. Like, again, Trudeau-Perogan government has, they have it in their brain that you're so stupid that you'll forget. You'll forget that he destroyed our economy for a flu that was made in a lab, which is now fact, although it was considered conspiracy theory. See, like, again, to me, COVID was where the madman behind the curtain was revealed, right? Like, America is a psychopath. Like, it's crazy. And you have, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, who were supposed to be these crusaders for the environment, calling Robert Kennedy Jr. a anti-vaxxer, which again is like, he's not anti-vax, he's against anti-death, anti-disease. The reality is that we don't spend hardly any money on research. I don't want to go too far off on a tangent, but I just want to say this. There are certain sectors that shouldn't have a profit motive. It's illogical. One of those things is healthcare. So what do you get when you have a healthcare that's a healthcare system that's reliant on money and trying to make more money for their stockholders? You get our system. You get the American system that pays 5 times as much for crap. Cuba is always offering, when there's a natural disaster in America, to allow, saying, well, hey, we'll send our doctors. And America's like, no. Because the same thing happened to us. Like, again, Cuba's socialist healthcare system is superior. China's healthcare is superior. China has eliminated hunger. So, again, you may not agree with these other countries in every way, but that doesn't mean that we don't have things in common, and that doesn't mean that we can't learn things from each other. Where to Invade Next, I think, was Michael Moore's best documentary. Maybe that and Fahrenheit 9/11, which, that's another topic. But see, this is the thing with, Trump is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. He's going after the deep state. And it seems to me that the deep state giving him 4 years to think about a game plan was a mistake. Maybe they shouldn't have tried to stop the steal and issue in Weekend at Bernie's. Biden, who is a very, very old, creepy man. Right? Again, there's a theme there. So, I don't know. I'm hopeful that I would love to see Canada work with Tulsi Gabbard, and also RFK Jr. For more disclosure, for more information about what's really been going on our planet for the last 50 to 75 years, but particularly post 1980, when American neo-fascism really started to become predatory capitalism. Yeah. So going back to those things that shouldn't have a profit motive, they are health, war, right? I mean, that's why we're droning wedding parties in Pakistan, not to kill terrorists, but to ensure that we get more terrorists so that we can use them to take over Syria. And Syria was a democratically elected, Assad was democratically elected. He also didn't gas his own people. That's what they call a false flag. Again, going back to an inconceivable guy from Princess Bride. There's a long history there of creating war. And again, it's very profitable. So let's pull the profit out of warfare. Let's think about our North as a navy, but of a peacekeeping navy, right? We need a navy. We need a navy so that we can stop pirates, so that we can, stop whatever, smuggling, whatever kind of things that happen at sea. There's lots of crimes that happen at sea. So, investing in a navy makes a lot of sense. Investing in our own people, making college, university free, and giving those people that are still paying debt, some relief there. I mean, the liberals are talking about a UBI, and the truth is that UBIs do work. They tend to stimulate. Again, that's an example of trickle up economics, but it's not the best example. Again, there's other ways of doing everything that we do. Robert Kennedy Jr. again, like he was an environmental lawyer that again was a hero to the environmental movement. Tulsi Gabbard not saying that Edward Snowden, doubling down on not allowing her enemies to paint her as unpatriotic. She refused to answer the question. But the truth is that Edward Snowden was forced into Russia. He was stranded there by the CIA. So I would love to see, if I was PM of Canada, I would grant Edward Snowden sanctuary in Canada. I would also offer Julian Assange the position of editor-in-chief for the CBC, because he is hands down better than any journalist at the CBC. In fact, the CBC, it shouldn't be defunded. It needs to be refunded. The entire staff needs to be fired. Or at least a lot of them. Because they endangered you with their disinformation about COVID and the vaccines, which were not safe and effective. My aunt died suddenly. # died suddenly worldwide. Of a massive heart attack. She's not the only one. My ex-girlfriend's father, you could say, makes a case for turbo cancer, because during COVID he was diagnosed with cancer, died like maybe a month later. No one was allowed to see him. He had to die alone. Like, it was a flu season, people. It was a flu season. It's actually safer than the regular flu in people under 30. So insisting that children get the vaccine is negligent. It's impossible for them to die from it. The only kids that did die were already on death's door. See, this is the other thing about that. Flus kill people every year. Old people that it's their time. Sometimes that COVID or whatever, that flu, is a release. My ex-girlfriend's grandmother got COVID, like the first strain, the really crazy one, right out of the lab. And she was 99 years old. She was fine. She died of old age 4 days before her 100th birthday. The average age of someone that died from COVID was 85 or something like that. Like 12 years over the, your typical death rate. Like, guy, what is it, guys? I don't know, guys are lucky to live to 70 and women live to 80 usually. I don't know about that, but the point being, my brother lost his job. Then he had a stroke because he was off his benefits. There's been research done into that about how the lockdowns were just disaster. Criminally negligent, causing pain, suffering, and death on a massive, massive scale. So, the lawsuits are going to start flying, and Canada needs to be on the right side of history on this. And so far, electing Tulsi Gabbard and RFK, that's a good start, because they will look into this, because they're brave. Robert Kennedy Jr. has been called a lunatic almost his entire life. Shamed for being a drug addict, and yet he did drugs to deal with the death of his father, who was killed by the CIA and Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin being a part of the military-industrial complex. To finish the list, policing, prisons, the prison-industrial complex, military police now. Police don't need tanks. Like let's see, 5. So there's health, no health. Healthcare should not be, based on money, making money. Quite the opposite. The military, police, prisons, and the 5th, I would say insurance should be socialized. Because again, you kind of need insurance, but those profits shouldn't be going to some asshole in Europe. Those profits should go to you. Again, we were forced into neo-fascist American style healthcare insurance, which in my case, almost cost me my life and possibly the lives of at least one other person.